All right, and with us right now, we've got Leah Caplanis. Leah, you are the founder and CEO of Social, which is known as the cleanest alcohol available today. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you so much for having me.
So, Leah, you have an amazing story that really helped you come up with this idea. We'll talk about your business success and that sort of thing. But I'd really love for you to kind of share the story, the Social story.
Yeah, sure thing. So I started Social about 6 years ago when I was living in Chicago, and I actually had been going through this healing journey because when I was 26, I was diagnosed with thyroid cancer. And I ended up choosing to heal holistically. So instead of having surgery, I went vegan for several years and I didn't drink alcohol at all. And 2 years into that, I had learned so much about holistic nutrition and even our emotional wellness, in that we need to really connect with each other as humans. We're social creatures. And I didn't drink at all. And then I realized I really wanted to drink again, but I wanted something cleaner that I felt good about. And so that's how the idea for Social was born.
Well, okay, so you have this great idea. How do you bring it to reality? Like, how do you create a product like that?
Yeah. So, some people, they come up with a product and they make it and then they figure out who wants it. And sometimes they're right, sometimes they're wrong. What I did instead was I really focused on who I wanted to serve and whose needs I really wanted to meet. And for me, that was clear that I really wanted to focus on health conscious people, predominantly women. And so I went out and did research on specifically what they're drinking now, what they like about it, what don't they like about it. And from that, I got a concept of, exactly what, they were looking for, what was not out there. And then from there, I found people that could help me make it, from a beverage company who helps formulate these things to a brewmaster. And I came up with the flavors and what sugars and that kind of thing. And before you know it, I had some samples.
So is it expensive to formulate something like that? I mean, I wouldn't even know how that would work and how much I'd end up paying, I imagine like someone with a white lab coat and, just, people that are in that world.
Yeah. So it's about $10,000. Sometimes for that, you can get about two items done, 2 or 3 items. But you know what? What I did was I worked with a flavor company, and I said, if you formulate all of these for me for free, I will buy the flavor from you ongoing. And so I've had all of my product development work done for free for the past 6 years. Brilliant.
All right. So you come up with this great idea. Now, before you invest money in in getting all of this developed, or your effort and that sort of thing, like, were you doing market testing? Were you putting feelers out to try and say, listen, if I go through with this, I need to know that this is going to be a good use of my time and effort and resources. So, I mean, what groundwork did you do?
Yeah. So, I did in marketing, sales and marketing for Nestle for 8 years. And I got my MBA in marketing and undergrad in marketing. And the first thing that you really ask yourself when deciding, is there a big enough opportunity out there to sustain a business, is to figure out the size of the market. And in some ways you can do this in a common sense way. For what I did was I walked into a liquor store and I saw that there were just thousands and thousands and thousands of products in a liquor store. And I said, okay, I'm a health conscious woman. What do I want to drink? And I knew that there were all of these, this concept that had been, that wasn't really available yet. And I had talked to all these women and they said this is what they wanted. And I said, okay, well, if all these other companies can sustain themselves in this huge, $80 billion category or whatever it is, then, there's room for me to get 0.25%, and that's enough.
So now that you've got the product, how do you bring it to market? What was the first way that you introduced? So you go back to these women who said, yeah, I'd try that. And so you probably show up on their front door with a case and like, hey, remember when you said you were going to buy this product? Here I am. Break out your checkbook, please.
Yeah, that would have been a good idea. You know, so the first thing that I did was I did all my graphic design to say, here's the packaging, here's the brand name, here's the website. These are all things that are sort of like, I guess they're two-dimensional, right? They're on paper, they're on the website, and they kind of show this visual of what you're trying to create. And from that vision that I could show people, I went to retailers and I said, hey, I'm going to be launching this thing. Here's the idea. Here's what it looks like. I got some samples. They weren't produced yet, but they were, in a plastic, bottle just to have them taste it.
Yeah.
I said, okay, it's called like a minimum viable product, right?
Right.
And then from there, they said that they would buy it. And then I was able to get accepted with distributors to also buy it.
Wow. All right. So who were your first stores that you got into and then what happened?
Yeah. So my first stores were Mariano's in Chicago and Whole Foods in Chicago.
Oh, congratulations.
Yeah.
So you were able to just start with like a regional section of Whole Foods.
Correct. There's like 11 regions for Whole Foods. And so,
oh my gosh.
Yeah. So I dropped off samples at the regional office and, the buyer said, go talk to all the stores and have them sign that they want it. And then I'll set the item up in the system.
Wow. All right. So now when you've got a manufacturer that's producing, and that's a beverage company, and you've got the retailers, you just need to make sure that they're talking to each other. Like how does that work operationally?
So first, actually, I had the retailer acceptance. They said, okay, well, as soon as you launch this, I'll take it.
Yeah.
And then I have my distributor, because in alcohol, you need distributors. They said, okay, as soon as you launch this, I'll take it. And along this, parallel pathing, I was talking with a whole bunch of co-packers and manufacturers to make it for me, because the equipment to make a canned beverage, especially a canned alcohol beverage, can be, millions and millions of dollars. And so I went to some co-packers and I said, hey, this is going to be the volume I'll do year one. Of course, I said, I thought I would do way more than I did. I always overestimate. Entrepreneurs tend to do that. And then I got them to do it. But that was quite a challenging thing to do, is to get a co-packer that could make it and that knew that I would produce enough to make it worth their time.
And what have your biggest challenges been from like supply and demand and kind of working with supply chains, that sort of thing?
Yeah, it's, the way that it works well is when you really have strong relationships with retailers. And sales seems to heal so many things.
This is funny. It's like that quote. It's like, there aren't too many problems in business can't be solved with more sales and money.
Right. Now, for me, that was really my strength, was doing sales to retailers. But then we've had capacity constraints every summer where our producer, couldn't produce it fast enough, didn't have enough line time available. So it's really important to actually have multiple producers so that if one is really busy, you can go and work with another one.
Have you ever been in a situation where I know you've had some good media, where, and you were on CNBC, you were on a billion dollar buyer. Like when those events happen, do you plan in advance with that and work with your retailers and like, hey, just heads up, we might have a little bit of a rush on on the shelves?
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, definitely always telling retailers about new marketing coming out, new media, keeping them just aware about your success and that you're getting attraction, buzz and, attention in the marketplace. But, in entrepreneurship, there's so many things to do. So there's kind of like, what you'd like to do. And then there's how it actually goes,
So as the product is on the shelves, and that's not enough to just put great product on shelves. I mean, obviously you have your own marketing and your own social and everything else that you need to do. Like, what have you done specifically? What have you been your biggest things to drive a product awareness?
Because of that situation where we often didn't have enough product because we were selling to retailers so fast. So every year we're adding more and more retailers. And so I haven't done a lot of advertising. So up until now, I mainly I have the website, I have our free social media channels. And then the biggest thing I've done is send out lots of samples to influencers and to, and to media, and to, just really build some friendships and partnerships with people that are moving and shaking out there. And we really like to create really authentic partnerships that are long-term. And that's been kind of the main way we've done it. And then also the TV show.
Yeah, and if I think of like where consumer behavior is today and what truly drives behavior, and you think about the ROI from, great influencer engagement versus glossy full page ads, it's not even close. Just in terms of bang for the buck, if you have a great program. I would imagine now, Leah, that tell me a little bit about your operation and like who you've got on the team, who you've hired in, and what kind of great stuff that's allowed you to do as a CEO.
Yeah, so we have about 12 people right now, and I was fortunate enough to have recruited, some pretty talented people. So we've got VP of sales who used to work at Walgreens for 10 years handling their alcohol nationally, and I have a director of sales who has worked for Miller and Bacardi and several brands. And so we've got quite a big team sort of at this point, and it's completely dependent upon their devotion and their work ethic and their attitude, and it's crucial.
What communities really love your product? I would imagine so. Like, I'm kind of into the keto scene, so you would be a great fit because you're 88 calories and 1 gram of sugar.
Yes, keto is a really great audience for us in community. Absolutely, we've got several loyalists that are keto, but really anyone who's focused on health and health and fitness. There's definitely a lot of people that are also just active physically, like in the yoga communities or running communities. We sponsor the Chicago Marathon. It's our 3rd year being the wine of the Chicago Marathon. Yeah. So doing different runs and races is part of our marketing.
How do you do influencer marketing? Like, how do you identify influencers, and then what's your engagement look like? Like, what do you reach out? What do you say?
Yeah, so we've got about 60 plus affiliates signed up on our affiliate program. And so they basically go to our website, socialsparklingwine.com, and they go to the affiliate page and they fill out an application that just kind of talks about who they are and their presence online. And then we approve it. And we send them product, we send them photos and images, and basically they earn 15 to 20% of all e-commerce sales that go through their platforms. So it goes directly to their, we transfer it over to their bank account. And, we partner on all kinds of different ways, whether it's if they've got a podcast, if they have a blog, if they have events happening, that I can go and, be interviewed on those, go to their events, that sort of thing. So.
Wow. So your flavors so you've got sparkling wine, and then you've got sparkling water as well. And do you have 4 flavors of each? Is that right?
We've got 6 flavors of wine and 4 flavors of water.
Okay, great. So, and then of the wine ones, you've got elderflower apple, strawberry rose, hibiscus cucumber, pink grapefruit, and then there's 2 other ones that. I'm just looking at the front page right now. So, of the 6 flavors, I would think that grapefruit, toasted coconut almond, that would be really, really interesting. I would think that I would probably like the grapefruit ginger. I'm not sure. What's your favorite flavor?
my favorite is elderflower apple.
Mm.
They look at apple a day. But everybody's got their favorites, and each one of them has superfoods in it and botanicals. So like the pink grapefruit ginger, that has organic ginger extract. So it's a little spicy. It's real ginger.
Oh.
And the strawberry rose has organic rose essence. And so they're very, particular. And so everyone really has their preferences.
Brilliant. Well, great. So Leah, you are on the web at socialsparklingwine.com. You can see all the flavors. You could order online. And then of course you can also see the directory of all of the stores that the product is available right now on the shelves. And so I tell you what, I'm gonna be heading up to Lucky's, which is just a few minutes north of me, and get me a case.
Well, I greatly appreciate that, and I hope you enjoy it.
Yeah, it sounds great. So fantastic. So Leah Caplanis, I want to thank you so much. You're the founder and CEO of Social Sparkling Wine. You're on the web at socialsparklingwine.com. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Josh. You guys have a wonderful day.